CaesarBusiness.com podcast with Tony Rourke and Kevin O'Flaherty.
CaesarBusiness.com, making you money.
Share it on Facebook, share it on LinkedIn, Twitter,
our blogs, YouTube videos, listen to our podcast, getting so hot that it's burning up the stereo.
Welcome to CaesarBusiness.com podcast. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law, your host. Today I'm joined by the Main Street Senior Resources Group. And this is a really interesting thing. Our topic's going to be power groups. It's going to be a different sort of podcast. We've got 5 people other than myself in on this podcast, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves and what the Main Street Senior Resources Group is all about. And we're going to talk about how we've been using this group to leverage our relationships with each other in order to better service our clients. So, Mary, why don't you start by introducing yourself?
Sure. I'm Mary Jensen. I'm a dental hygienist, and I'm with an organization, a company called High Life. We provide weekly brushing and in-between the teeth cleaning for dependent elders, dependent seniors in home or in assisted living. So that's basically the purpose of what I do within this group.
Mark?
Mark Hayes, owner of Hayes Funeral and Cremation Service. I'm a funeral director. I provide funeral services regardless if it's traditional services or cremation to the senior community.
Mark Smolensky from the private bank. I provide specialized reverse mortgages that could be utilized for businesses, providing a low, easy cash flow and low monthly payments, that type of thing. So to help businesses provide additional resources for their business.
My name is Carrie Quirin. I work for Senior Living Experts, and I offer a free service helping seniors and their families find senior living options in the Chicagoland area.
And hi, I'm Mike Stalick with Caring Transitions. We do estate sales, senior move management, and downsizing for senior adults that are transitioning from a home of 40 years into assisted living. And our clientele basically is those senior adults or their adult children.
And not pictured is Eric Van Ness from Waddell & Reed. He's a financial advisor, an excellent one that's also a member of the group. So who wants to talk about what the Main Street Senior Resources Group is and what we do?
I think I can start out. We are a group of really diverse but very similar small business owners that serve a common clientele, which is the senior adults, the baby boomers and older, and their adult children through a variety of services that addresses different needs that that age group, that cohort will have, whether it be financial planning to legal services through end-of-life planning with funeral homes. So we work together in a little different areas of a specific niche, and by coming together, we have, become stronger in what we can offer our clients.
And the interesting thing that a lot of people might not understand is it's not one, we're not in business together. We're just a bunch of different providers that decided we could have a synergistic effect on our clients by working together. Do you guys want to talk about some of the initiatives we've done, some of the ways we've worked together in order to, help our own businesses and get some synergy with each other?
I could address that, Kevin. I think that with working in groups like we do and ourselves as professionals provide a great resource for a lot of organizations, a lot of individuals, a lot of families. And so when you call one of us, what happens is that we're able to provide you a resource. If we don't have the answer, we know we can get the answer. Whether you're running a small business or trying to help your parents, it's one of those things that we can continue to do. And by having a small group like ourselves working together and diversity, we can provide a lot of resources.
Now that's how we help the client. But what our audience wants to hear is how it can help their business to be in a group like this.
Well, I think coming from such a small business myself is we don't have a large budget, so we have to really watch our dollars. So if I can be a part of a group like this, then if we can put our dollars together, and whether we're in some kind of an event together, if I can kind of be in it with them, and it kind of takes some of the financial pressure off of us being such a small business.
Well, I think without question, by being in a power group, you extend your marketing dollars. There's some marketing events that individually we might not have been able to afford both financially and time-wise. But by being in a group, we can extend those, and now as a group, we can afford to do those things individually, and it really helps you get your name out of there. So Carrie's yes, that's one thing. The other aspect is 5, 6, 7 heads is always better than one. And I've been in this business for 2 years, and by talking to everyone in our monthly meetings, and I think it's very important to get together on a regular basis, you learn more of those resources and have ideas as, oh, this is a great networking thing that I could do. Oh, this is a good business practice I should add on. So just having your own private group of business coaches that are in your same market niche and can help you grow your business and become more effective, efficient, that's almost as valuable as anything that I found.
The other thing I would say, Kevin, that it gives me a peace of mind, kind of going on Mike's suggestion of the power of the group, is that it gives me a peace of mind that I can, as a small business owner, I don't have to come up with all the answers. I have answers within the group, and that's the nice thing as a business owner, because of the fact that I don't have to do it all myself. It takes the stress off of me as a business owner having to worry about that. I can rely on each of the members of the group to kind of support me, but also give me the answers if I don't know it, or help me try to find that answer to service my families and to service the community that we're servicing. So
I agree with Mark. Since we each have our own area of expertise, we're in contact with different people. Like, our worlds are different, but then they sort of collectively come together, where maybe I have run across somebody who was interested about learning some more about some financial planning. Send them to Eric. It just collectively we work really, really well as a group.
I think our clients too want to know that we are connected people, that they kind of look at us with, more integrity if we're able to say, I don't have the answer right now, but I can get it for you today. So if they know that of us, their confidence in us is just going to be that much higher.
And I think too, when working as a group, you have that creativity. Everybody has an idea, but it's when you're working with other people, it's someone has a different point of view. And then by having a different point of view, you look at something a little bit differently, and it might be able to be added to your business plan. So when you're creating business plans and marketing and how to conquer something, we work together as a unit per se to come up with new ideas and new creativities to be able to help our businesses.
So do you guys want to talk about what happens at a monthly meeting of a group like this, or at our monthly meetings?
Well, I think the first thing monthly meeting is walk in and there's Kevin working on his computer doing, some kind of legal work. But it's just leveraging all our networking and marketing ideas that we got out there. So, without question, you got to have a focus. What's the goal of the group? And I think without question, ours is how can we leverage our marketing and get our word out there? And we've created a speaker series. And this is, part of that. So we always talk about, okay, what are the avenues that we can go to? And you've got 7 heads thinking about that rather than one. And then from that, it's like, okay, what do we need to do? And who has the resources, the expertise to do that? And then we just build from that. So I think without question, if you're going to have a power group in your monthly meetings, there's got to be a focus and a purpose, and not just together and chat. And ours is to create the speaker series and get out there and spread the word of what we can do and the resource and how we can help people. And all our meetings, channel that thought from start to finish. And that's where it's, effective and more powerful for each of us.
Being a new member too of the group, what I've noticed and liked is that we don't go too far out. We're not reaching so far out that, you start to lose focus, because I have been parts of groups like that before, where your reach was too far and it all fizzled. So it seems like we reach maybe a month or 2 out from where we're at right now and get these few things done, and then reach out that much further versus, too far, and then you kind of lose focus. So that's what I've noticed.
I think we do a good job of having different people volunteer to take on different tasks. It's not one person doing everything, and every meeting someone leaves usually everyone leaves with a couple things that they're going to accomplish. We send an email out recapping what we talked about, and then the next meeting we say, hey, what do we accomplish? Just like any other board. And that's worked really well. And I think for the speaker series that Mike was talking about, we're trying to get some exposure between each other's clients, get some crossover there. And we were talking in our meeting earlier today, if we each bring 2 of our clients to that's a crowd, with 7 people.
Right.
So, we don't necessarily have to find built-in crowds for us to speak to if we can cross over some of our client bases. So do you guys want to talk about we're doing an expo together here pretty soon, and you guys want to talk about how that's going to work and why we're doing it and what our strategy is for that?
Sure, I could kind of go with that idea. I've done Expo in the past, and it's been very fruitful because from the simple point of working together, again, as we had said, sharing the costs. So we're saving money by not having to worry about spending a lot of money on a booth and then other marketing stuff. So part of the benefit that too is that with something like that, and with the attendance in the ballpark of about 4,000 people, we could use the names and addresses we have as a marketing tool for ourselves and our individual businesses. So we're maximizing the event of an expo like that, and then the additional exposure with that type of 2-day event. So it's actually going to be very good. I think I've used it before, and it's gotten me business.
Right. I think you add to that, like Mark said, it is a 2-day event, and for any one person, that's a big chunk of time and energy to have to commit. Well, now we can share that, not only that financial cost, but that time and energy cost as well. And you're going to have your name and business exposed out there for 2 days with maybe only having to be there 4 hours. Mm-hmm. And I think in terms of creating some synergy and being able to, work on your business and still get the marketing out there, I think it's a huge advantage to not only split cost, but split the time energy of getting this thing done.
Even if there's a time where you can't be there, an hour or two, you're still being represented by the group, and that's a huge benefit of being part of a resource group.
Right.
One of the best things you get out of an event like that is list building, and we're going to raffle something off and allow people to sign up and give us their emails, and that's something that we can all benefit from. Whether I did Grove Fest last weekend, and I spent 3 full days manning a booth, and I'm going to get the same amount of leads from maybe spending 3 hours at this. So
right.
it's a really good idea.
Right.
So let's talk about the website and the website I've been promising to produce for 3 months, and how we're how we're planning to leverage that. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think with any business these days, to be seen as legitimate, you need a web presence, a landing page, contact information, a little contact. I mean, that's just, the baseline. So if we're going to have a Main Street Resources, you got to have something that someone can Google search real quick and find something. Okay, they're legitimate, So without question, you got to have that. And as you grow, as Carrie said, you don't want to overreach, but as, it grows and you go step by step, then you can start adding content, and events, and create some added synergy, there. So, step by step, get the speaker series, kind of find out what our goals are. And the next step, do some events, use our, strengths there, use our strengths in creating the website, and then go from there. So that's just going to add some, legitimacy to what you have. And, talking the tech, you got the cross-link, right? Everyone has their websites. You put it, cross-link it, yada, 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 Google Analytics. And it's just going to enhance your visibility on the web for you individually and everyone else.
It's a good source to provide details, too, about each individual that is working with our group. So you know exactly what you're looking for, and if you find that, then you've got a resource. But then you also see the cross resources that we work with, like, for example, Kevin being an attorney. That's a valuable resource when working within our group, and also financial planning with Eric, because those are very important balances of what we do financially and making sure things are done correctly.
The first thing we did before we even had a meeting, I remember Mark put together a joint brochure that he emailed out to everybody. I don't think we'd even met each other all yet. He just took everyone's email addresses, and that's something I'm excited about too. To be able to, in my estate planning folders, just have a brochure of resources. I think that really like Mike's been saying, adds legitimacy, but it just adds a lot of value to the client, and it makes it a lot easier to cross refer. I don't have to ask them, do you need a help with the transition to move, mom's property into the nursing home. I can say, here's the resources I have on a list. So that's another really helpful thing.
And that could be really far-reaching because it might not be the person necessarily that you're giving it to that day, but maybe their neighbor sees it. And you can get like a referral off of a referral. So it's really a wonderful thing.
One of the ways I've benefited from the group is, I'm a general practitioner. I focus a lot on estate planning and business work, but I don't, elder law isn't the only thing I do. So I've gotten exposure to a lot of communities that you guys are members of, and you guys mentioned that already, but just it's been a really good mind share to be part of. So anything else you guys want to add about, using power groups? And
Well, I was just going to say, being part of a small business, I think if you want to bring a presentation to a certain group, you are more attractive to that group, I think, if they can sort of, everybody's so busy, so they don't have time to listen to 7 individual people. But if they can hit these 7 people in a half an hour presentation, it's like, okay, good. I can kind of listen to these 7 people who've been beating down my door. They want to tell me what they do so bad. But if you can come together, it's more attractive because it's a half an hour with these 7 people versus 7 individuals calling me that want appointments with me that are going to take, half an hour each time. So I think it's more attractive to the people you're speaking to.
Right. And go ahead.
Just the one other thing that we haven't really touched upon that I've read a lot about this, and when you're creating groups like this, whether it's our group or a manufacturing group or a service group or whatever the case may be, is that we get to know each other. That's the benefit. And when they say when you're doing marketing or when you're doing things that you got to reach out 5 to 7 times, maybe 10 times to a person before you really will start getting a train of referrals. And by getting to sit across from a table from everybody once a month and then at different events and things like that, I really get to know everybody. You have kids, you get to know their social things, you get to be invited to parties and involved with other things. So you're really building a good strength and a good, strong relationship versus someone you see at an event and you say, hi, here's my business card, and then they walk away. This is something we really can say, Kevin does a great job doing this. This is what he likes to do. Mike does this, that type of thing, because it's really a real personal, because we really know the people.
Right. And the last thing I would recommend for any small business owner, whatever stage you're in, is yes, get in, create some kind of power group. If you can be the leader, more power to you, but be very pragmatic and think very hard about the group of people you're going to surround yourself with. So you make sure, like, Mark just said, is you get to know people that are going to benefit you and your business, right? Because that's why you're in this. I mean, you want to help, your business grow. So you got to think about what are those other service areas that are going to have the same clientele, the same values, and same, type of business practices that, I might have that I want to associate with. You don't want to be in a power group just to be in a power group. Okay. There's got to be some thought behind on who, what, and why. If you can answer those concretely, then it's going to be a great business tool for you to help grow your own business.
Well, and on that subject, there's a couple nice things about this group that make it work really well. One is that there's not really any freeloaders. I mean, everybody comes to the table with ideas and is willing to, put some effort in. And a lot of groups like this would have people that, are just there to check it out or see if what business they're going to get from it. The other thing is that having a shared purpose. I've noticed this in the Rotary Club too. We put on the town festival and we build bonds by having a shared purpose. Groups that just meet solely for the purpose of exchanging business cards or networking, they're great, but a lot of times they'll dissolve and attendance won't be great. But when you're actually working together towards something, it really builds bonds. And I've noticed that, we've never had any attendance problems at our meetings. So, those are the two things that worked really well about this group that if I were ever to do something like this again, I'd want to make sure, I had in place. So, anything else you guys want to
I think just on that subject, I think, as you said, the attendance, the reason I think it works so well is because we do have a common goal as business owners. to, like Mike said, enhance our business, but also enhance the clientele that we're dealing with. We truly, I think each one of us truly cares for our clients and how we can help them as the best that we can do. I think that's the other thing, is that it's a common goal with all of us as individual business owners, and we carry that as the group goal as well. So I think that's very good when you're trying to build a group like that. So.
Since there's we got about 10 minutes left, and we went through introductions real quick at the beginning. What I'd like to do is go around, maybe we start with Mike, and reintroduce yourself, state what your business is, and give me the number one lesson you've learned in the course of your business that you would, tell your younger self when you're just starting out. And Mike, I put you on the spot. If anyone else wants to start, they can.
No, I can do that. Mike Stalek, Carrying Transitions. We do, senior move management, downsizing, and estate sales. I've been in this for about 2 years, and the number one thing I've learned is make sure that you don't do all the things you like to do, but you do the things you need to do. If you like to do accounting and you're not an accountant, have someone else do your accounting, because even though you like it working with QuickBooks, it's not necessarily going to help you grow your business. If you're not a marketing person, get someone to do, the marketing. So find what you're good at. Make sure you're doing the things to help your business grow, and not just do the things, that little busy work on the back end that you think you need to do. Be very pragmatic and knowing kind of what's important to do on a daily basis.
Very wise. Yeah, we've talked about that on the podcast.
I'm sure.
Delegating is important.
Exactly.
Carrie?
I'm Carrie Quirin, and I work for a company called Senior Living Experts. So we offer a free service helping seniors and their families find senior living options in the Chicago area. So more specifically, independent living, assisted living, memory care, supportive living facilities, and in-home care as well. I've been doing this since I got out of college, which was 3 years ago. No, which was 19 years ago. What I would say, what I wish I could tell my younger self, is to just don't worry so much when times are slow in business. Just go with the ebbs and the flows. Calm down. It'll all be okay. Quit trying to figure out, it's September. People are back to school. Maybe that's the reason why we're slow. Or it's January. It's snowing. This is why we're slow. But then the next January will be the busiest January I've ever had. So just to kind of go with the flow, keep doing what you're doing, do what you know is right, do what you know has worked in the past, and just calm down and go with the flow. It'll be fine.
Good advice.
Mark Smolensky with the Private Bank Reverse Mortgages. I've been in the mortgage industry for over 13 years. And one of the things I found with the product is the diversity. And, the thing is that you never want to pigeonhole yourself into one direction. You don't want to have blinders on. And I felt that by looking back and trying to create that diversity and think outside the box, the best way is joining organizations and groups like this, because you feed off those people, you feed off the energy. And if I'd done this sooner, I think it would have improved my business much sooner. So it's one of those things where you look back and going, if I only thought about this sooner, I could have accomplished much more. And so we're all taking care of our lives, our families, our kids, and things like that. So it's very important that we try to maximize what we do. And I think part of that is really just thinking outside the box and growing and taking the blinders off and trying to think outside the box.
Mark Hayes, owner of Hayes Funeral and Cremation Service. The one thing I would say is just, I wish I would have done it sooner. I've been doing it 8 years, and I love what I do because I give comfort to families. So, I absolutely love what I do. So I think that if I could have done this sooner and made the decision to do that sooner, that would be the one piece of advice. If you think you're going to want to do something, go out on your own, just go and do it. Have the courage to do it and the confidence in yourself. That's the biggest thing. So.
I'm Mary Jensen. I'm a registered dental hygienist, but also an independent oral care specialist with Highlight LLC. And I would just say it goes back to the purpose. And the purpose of what I do is providing oral care for the seniors. And once you know that that is your purpose, it'll just take off from there. You just have to keep asking questions, network. Don't be afraid to get involved with different groups of other people who have a similar purpose, and just go from there. I've been a hygienist, like I said, over 30 years, but I've just been doing this independent work for the last 6 to 8 months. So it's brand new to me. I've been keeping busy, and I absolutely love it. So just follow your purpose.
And if Eric Van Ness from Waddell and Reed were able to talk on this, he'd probably say, get yourself a really good business attorney. So thank you so much for being here today, guys. By the time this episode airs, our website better be up. It'll be mainstreetseniorresourcesgroup.com, and that's where everyone can find all of your information if they need help with their parents or for themselves dealing with the senior issues. So thanks so much. We appreciate your time, guys.
Thanks,
Kevin.
Thank you.
Kevin.